Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the SIG 365. I don't own it, but I've had a lot of opportunity to shoot it. I've trained lots of people on it at different gun ranges, and I'm very impressed with the gun. I held off for a while doing an initial impressions kind of review on it because I just wanted to shoot a lot more, because initially I'm like, wow, this thing's awesome, and I said, well, let me take a little bit more time before I tell everybody that's awesome. And now I think about a year and a half later, it's an awesome gun. Okay, now I don't own the gun. I'll get into why in a little bit, but let's talk about the things that make it awesome. Okay, so the SIG 365 is about the size of a Glock 43. Right, it's actually a tiny bit smaller in most of the dimensions. But here's the thing: the Glock 43, okay, takes a 6-round magazine. Right, you can see how the cartridges are staggered in there. Okay, so the Glock 43 takes a 6-round magazine. The SIG 365 takes a 10-round magazine. Okay, so initially I was like, well, how on earth did they manage to get 4 extra rounds into a slightly smaller gun? Okay, and the trick was that they made the grip a slight bit wider. Now, when you hear that, you might say, hey, isn't that going to be an issue when you're carrying the gun? Is it going to be like fat like a Glock 26? That's not the case at all. If you look at the Glock 43 here, or this Glock 43 that I have in the holster, right? Well, here's the thing: you can't make the slide wider, right? Because when it sits in the holster, you're going to have to make the holster wider. However, the grip sits outside the holster, so you've got this extra space here where you can make the grip a little bit wider, match it to the holster, and now basically you haven't made the package, right? The whole thing, this unit, gun and magazine. I'm sorry, gun and holster. You have not made the total unit wider. It's actually now kind of flush with the holster, and you get an extra 4 rounds in this. So I think that's quite ingenious, really impressive. Initially, when I was talking to people, some people thought that the way that they got those 4 extra rounds in there was by maybe making the grip a little bit thinner. The walls of the grip here a little bit thinner. That's not the case. I looked at it. They did not make the grip thinner. Some people suggested that they made the body of the magazine like really thin, like a soda can, so they can fit more rounds in there. That's not the case at all. I mean, it's pretty it's pretty much the same as, like I say, my Beretta mags or any other steel magazines that I have. So what they did is they made it wider, because when I hold the SIG 365 magazine next to this Glock 43 magazine, yeah, I can see it's a wider magazine. It looks like a true double stack, as opposed to the Glock 43, which is kind of staggered. But as far as the gun itself, you can barely tell. You have to, I had to actually study it to see that they made the grip a slight bit wider. I mean, if somebody doesn't tell you that, you're probably not even going to notice it. And when it's in the holster and you're carrying it, again, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to feel that it's any wider. The place where you usually feel, when they try to increase the capacity of a gun or the magazine, usually if they try to make it longer, you're going to feel it, right? So like this Glock 43, I carry this with a standard 10-round magazine that's flush. If I try to carry this with the little pinky extension, when I sit in the car seat, I can feel that digging into the seat behind me, or I can feel it like poking out of my shirt sometimes. So that's why I carry this with the flush 10-round magazine, no pinky extension. So if you try to make the gun longer this way, that's going to make a difference. But if you make the grip just a tiny bit wider over here, that's not going to make a difference. It's going to kind of go flush with the holster, and you're not going to feel it when you're carrying it on your body. So that's the SIG 365, the standard one with the 10-round magazine. If you're going to comparing it to a Glock 43, if you're kind of like trying to decide which one you should get, I definitely think you should get the SIG 365. Now, I carry the Glock 43. There's a Polymer 80 that I built why do I still carry this and not the SIG 365? Well, for me, here's the thing. I enjoy building these guns, right? I enjoy getting different slides, different colored, different colored frames. So I just enjoy these guns more. I like carrying guns that I build. So that's the only reason why I'm carrying a Glock 43. If I was going to go to a gun store and buy a new carry gun, and I had a choice between a Glock 43 or a SIG 365, I would definitely get the SIG 365. If I went to a gun store and I saw it sitting there, right, ready to be bought, and it was basically optic ready, and it has to be able to take the Holosun 507K. I don't want to hear anything about the SIG Romeo sights. I like the 32 MOA circle of the Holosun 507K. If I see it sitting there, ready to take the Holosun 507K, chances are that I'm going to buy it on the spot. But I'm not going to go out of my way to buy it. I'm not going to, go order it on some website, send it to an FFL, and now I got to make a special trip to the FFL to do a background check and do the paperwork. And maybe, if the lines are busy, maybe I got to go back another day. So I'm just not motivated to do that, okay? And the only reason is, because, hey, I just got so many of these Polymer 80s. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm not motivated to go buy another small gun like this. However, if I was looking to buy one, and it came down to Glock 43 or SIG 365, yeah, I would definitely get the SIG 365, okay? Definitely get it optic ready. Holosun 507K, really happy with this. Now, let's talk about the SIG 365 XL. It basically has a 12-round magazine instead of the standard 10-round magazine. And the way they do that is, the mag back in here, they basically just make it just a tiny bit longer. If you compare it to the Glock 43, so if you're comparing 365 XL to the Glock 43, it becomes a little bit longer. As a Glock 43 carrier, I don't like that extra ½ inch. I don't like the way it basically pushes into the car seat behind me. But if you are a Shield 9 carrier, right? Where are you? So I was actually carrying the Shield 9 for about a year, right? If you're a Shield 9 carrier, right, which only holds 7 rounds, unless you get this comes with 2 magazines. You get a 7-round magazine, you get an 8-round magazine. So if you're a Shield 9 carrier, you're gonna love the SIG 365 XL, because now instead of getting 7 or 8 rounds, now you've got 12 rounds. So definitely, if it comes down to should you get the Shield 9 or should you get the SIG 365 XL, definitely go with the 365 XL. Okay. For me personally, I between the 365 XL and just the regular 365, the standard 365 is the better choice for me. Now let me talk about the SIG 365 SAS. Okay, that has a different sighting system. It does not have the iron sights. It's not optic ready, so it doesn't take a red dot like this. It has a different sighting system called a MePro-Lite. Okay, and if you search my channel, search MePro-Lite, you will find that aiming system. It's basically a fiber optic bullseye, where if you get the gun into proper alignment, in the daytime you're going to see a bullseye. At nighttime you just see a glow. I did a couple of videos on that. I was basically testing that out for a month. Works okay in the daytime when you got the sun out, because it lights up the fiber optics and you kind of see a clear bullseye. At night, you don't get the bullseye. You kind of get like this little glow. And I was never quite sure. It's like, okay, I'd never felt quite comfortable when I was shooting at night if I had proper sight alignment. Okay, and if you're shooting it like in low light conditions or at dusk, I felt even less comfortable with it. So after testing that sighting system, the MePro-Lite, out for about a month, I basically just threw it somewhere out. I was looking for it before so I can show it to you guys, and I couldn't even find it. I don't even know where I put it. But yeah, do not get the SIG 365 SAS. Do get the 365 optic ready, right? Preferably so that it will take the Holosun 507K. I know that they're really pushing the Romeo sights. I like the 32 MOA circle of Holosun, or the ACSS aiming system, although it's not available for the 507K. It would not be available in a micro optic for the SIG 365 or for the Glock 43. However, I'm hoping at some point in the future Holosun does make it. So that's how I would get it. I would personally get the 365 standard optic ready. And if you're a Shield 9 carrier, if you're comfortable carrying a gun this size, go with the 365 XL. Now, let's talk about Glock durability, right? Or the history of durability, because that's one of the things that often comes up when people are talking about a Glock, let's say, versus a SIG. Okay, so here's the thing. In my opinion, the long history of the Glock 17 and the Glock 19 does not carry over to the Glock 43, okay? I think that they changed the parts enough, right? They downsized them, they changed the system enough that the Glock 43 has to establish its own history. And, you know, so far it's not a bad history, right? The gun's proven pretty reliable. But I'm just saying that you know, you can only look at the Glock 43 and say it's been around for so long. How good has this specific model, you know, been? How reliable, how durable has it been in the specific time that the Glock 43 has been around? You can't just look at the Glock 17 or Glock 19 and basically take that history and bring it over to the Glock 43. Okay, same thing with the SIG 365. You can only look at the time period that's been around. Right, and during the time that both these guns have been around, you know, I have found them to be, you know, very reliable. Now, if the history of reliability is your main thing, among all these guns that we're discussing, the Shield 9 has probably been around the longest. People have used this in like in self-defense classes, you know, where they typically fire, let's say, 1,000 rounds in a weekend or something like that. So the Shield 9's been around for a little bit longer. So if your top priority is which gun has been around the longest and has the most proven reliability, I mean, that would probably be the Shield 9, just because it's been around longer. However, I'm pretty comfortable with the history of the SIG 365 and the Glock 43 as it is, right? Just looking specifically at those guns. So I think all these guns are very reliable. Okay, so that's what I want to show you guys. You know, comparing the SIG 365 to the comparable Glocks, like let's say the Glock 43. I think that SIG wins. You know, if I was going to a gun store to buy one or the other, I would definitely go with the SIG 365 compared, let's say, to the Glock 43 that I have here that I'm currently carrying. And like I said earlier, why am I carrying a Glock 43 instead of a SIG 365? Because I built this gun. You know, I take special pride in the gun that I built. You know, it's got the nice fancy slide here with the cutouts. So, you know, to me, it's kind of like men's jewelry. You know, I like this gun. I like shooting this gun. I built this gun. So that's the only reason why I'm carrying a Glock 43, or in this case, a Polymer 80 Glock 43 clone. But that may not, you know, apply to a lot of you guys watching this channel. So if it comes down to which gun do I recommend for most of you guys, SIG 365. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a member of the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it. Talk to you guys soon.